Hello, one and all present here. Welcome to Aussizz Conclave 4.0. We hope you're excited to get answers to all your migration queries in this Ask Aussizz session. Now we have man of the hour, a powerhouse in the field of migration, Mr. Ali Ehsan. He's a registered migration agent and director of Aussizz Group Bankstown. I'd like to call upon Mr. Ali Ehsan.
Thank you, Advait. The purpose of this session is to answer your questions. So if you have any question related to migration, do drop it here, whether it's skilled visa, employer sponsorship, partner visa, student visa, any question related to migration, just drop your question in the chat box and I'll try to answer as many questions as possible. Now, starting with, there is one question from Jay. After a student visa refusal, can I apply for 482 visa or do I need to apply AAT first and then apply for 482? So basically, whenever you get a refusal onshore, and you are holding a bridging visa A, your bridging visa A does not cease straight away. Okay, but you do get section 48 bar. So if your visa has been refused, that means you'll have to travel overseas on a bridging visa B or go overseas and lodge 482 visa from there. And looking into the time frame, unless you are ready with everything, your employer has lodged nomination or they have prepared it, I would suggest you to lodge AAT first and then consider further options because you will have very less time otherwise. Is it possible? Yes, it is, but you'll have to leave Australia for the lodgement of 482 visa because you are likely to be, if you're on a bridging visa A, you will be subject to section 48 bar. If you're holding a substantive visa, such as you have some other visa like student visa or, for any other visa you had valid, then section 48 will not apply. Meet Patel has asked that what is the chances for 189 with 70 points as chemists and they don't have job in the field, 3 years left for the visa expiry and skills assessment is valid for 2 years and they live in Queensland. Meet, frankly speaking, this is not a good score to be invited for 189 based on this financial year's trend, which is coming to an end. My advice to you will be definitely increase your points and do not just target 189. You should consider 190 and 491, but these visas cannot be applied in Queensland unless and until you are living and working. So I know you are already living there, but unless you get a job in your field or have a contract at least, you cannot go for 190 or 491 in Queensland. So either look for a job, try for 190, 491 or change your state. Now where to move? You have few options considering your profile. You can and then don't move as of now because we are still waiting for new states requirements and all the states have to release their quota and they have to release their requirements. So, but generally speaking, if you are not working in your nominated occupation, then Tasmania, Western Australia, and in some cases, basically regional Victoria can be a good option if you are not working in your nominated occupation. So this is what you have to consider, but wait for some time till requirements are announced. But one thing is for sure, with these points, you'll have to most likely move somewhere and chances of 189 are less. Now, James has asked that they are holding bridging visa A for 866. Is it possible to change to employer sponsor? So see, you can apply for employer sponsored visa, but depending on which subclass are we talking about. But yes, if you are holding a bridging visa A, you can apply for employer sponsored visa if your employer is ready to sponsor you and you're not subject to section 48. If you're subject to section 48, then still it's a possibility, but then you cannot lodge application while in Australia. Jay has again asked that after we apply to AAT, do we need to go to college as well? How long roughly to open the AAT file? So Jay, I'll tell you simple. So if you have lodged your AAT on the grounds that your student visa was refused and you are contesting that, so of course you have to keep on studying if you want to win from AAT. Otherwise, AAT will not is less likely to give you a positive outcome. So my recommendation is yes, keep on studying. And processing time for AAT are between 1.5 to 2 years roughly. They can go up and down, but this is what we have seen in recent time. 𝐦𝐿𝐵𝐿 has asked that please tell us the process to apply for 485 visa alongside adding partner on the same. I'll be getting my course completion letter on 30th June and giving PT on 3rd of July. So if you are giving your PT on 3rd of July, then it means you'll have to wait till 3rd of July to lodge 485. If you want to include your partner in 485, your partner must be in Australia. Along with meeting other requirements, their location has to be in Australia. If they're not in Australia, you cannot apply, or you cannot include them in the application. You'll have to first get your 485 and then include them as accompanying member of or on subsequent entrant. Sorry. Jitinder has asked that currently I'm in Victoria. What are the chances of computer, network and system engineer with 70 points for 491 in Tasmania and Perth? So basically, Jitinder, with 70 points, Perth seems very hard, because this is at least 15 to 20 points below the last known invitation. So you'll have to increase your points significantly. In Tasmania, the advantage that you have is points is not a primary consideration. There are other things that they look into first, such as how many years you have studied there, what sort of job you are doing there, if your partner is with you, is your partner studying, or so they have different priority attributes and different set of requirements. So with your points, I will prefer Tasmania for you because Perth will be highly competitive in this case. Adish has asked that can we apply for masters in nursing with higher education diploma in health science only from an Australian university and meeting the. Okay, so can we apply for masters in nursing with higher education diploma in health sciences only from Australian university and meeting? Adish, I think your question is not that clear to me. And then this is specific question related to education or admissions. I handle migration side. If you can make it clear, I can ask one of relevant person and I can get back to you. Can you please explain genuine student dependent criteria for student visa? Bhumika, GST is basically a refined pathway or a different set of requirements now, because previously department was checking applicants based on GTE, which is genuine temporary entrant. Now it's GST, which is genuine student test. No, it's not like a test or something. It's just that the way they assess an applicant is different to what they were doing in the past. In this case, they will look into various factors which were not looked into specifically in the past, such as you need to provide history of your visa or what you have done since you first arrived in Australia. And they basically, by bringing this GST, they are trying to limit applicants who have stayed for longer period in Australia on temporary visa, which is also called visa hopping. They want to stop that. So people should not jump from one student to another student and then TR to student. So basically GST is a set of criteria which limits, or which makes it hard to get student visa if you are not genuinely intending to study. Now, there can be cases where you have done a bachelor's degree and then you went on TR and now you want to apply for a student visa, for example, or you are already on a student visa and you are applying for student visa extension. Then, you can prove prove that you are a genuine student. However, if you have already stayed in Australia for 6, 7 years, 8 years on temporary visas, studied something and now you are going again for a student visa, GST can be a problem for you and your visa may be refused on this criteria. So you have to consider all the requirements, or make sure that the statement that you are making or your history and everything is aligned with what department expects. Navdeep has asked that currently I'm on a student visa in Victoria. Study will be over in July 2025, but valid. I have valid till, okay, so I believe you have a student visa valid till 15 March. Due to some personal reason, you want to travel in November, from November till February. Can I apply extension now as I have COE? Yes, Navdeep, you can apply for student visa. Student visa does not restrict you. Department does not restrict you from lodging a student visa in this case. And even if you are traveling during that time, your visa is valid. You can travel, because I assume that it will be a break period during that time. So shouldn't be an issue. Samantha, I would like to inquire about meeting the Australian study requirement. Okay, that's very, thank you for asking question related to Australian study requirement, but because it will be very important now, nowadays, because a lot of applicants are applying for 485s. So she has asked that I would like to know if I meet the requirement for it. I studied 1 year of bachelor degree in Australia. 2 years of credit granted overseas, immediately followed by 1.5 years for my master's degree in Monash, though it is registered as 104 weeks in 𝐸𝐸's website. Can I confirm if this makes me eligible for Australian study requirements? Thank you. So she has basically completed 2 qualifications, one bachelor's, which was 1 year because she got credits, and then she has done another master's, which is registered for 92 weeks. But she completed in 1.5 years. So absolutely, you should be eligible for, you will meet Australian study requirement. Now, just for every one of you, what is Australian study requirement? 2 things are important. First is the course or the courses that you have completed combined should be 92 weeks or more, and it must take at least 16 months duration to complete. So if you are meeting these requirements, generally you will be eligible for 485. Yes, there can be some very, I can say, technical scenarios or customized scenarios that one of migration agents can help you with those. But in this case, it's clear you meet Australian study requirement. Nabil, okay, so Nabil has asked that I'm applying for subsequent entrant visa. How much bank statement I have to show? Okay, it's having amount to cover, fee, traveling, yeah. So see, so Nabil has asked that how much amount he has to show. So it's hard for me to calculate amount in this meeting, but the calculation or the factors that you have mentioned are relevant. So basically, whenever you are applying for a visa, you have to show financials related to 3 things. Number 1 is equal to 1 year, your living expense for 1 year, and travel. So depending on how much fees you have, living expenses you'll have to show combined, and then you'll get the exact amount. Now still, if you want, we have Aussizz app. If you go download that app, we have fund calculator there, and you should be able to get the required information. I'll ask my team if they can share Aussizz link here, so you can upload and refer to that. Now you've asked that if I have active, active couple medical insurance when applying or expected to. So so for insurance, you must have arranged insurance when you are lodging visa. Okay, so arrangements should be made, and you can have some future date as well. It should be fine. For SOP, I've already answered above. SOP has to cover all those general student tests now. Umisha has asked that I'm finishing my master's degree at RMIT University. My student visa expires in March. What do I need to apply for 485 visa? And is it okay if I take PT and start the visa process after November? Umisha, yes, it seems like you will have you will have enough time to arrange PT and do everything after you finish your studies. But I always recommend my clients to be proactive. So let's say you finish your studies in November, December, and then something happens, you have to travel overseas for some reason, and you might miss giving English. And this is very common reason why most of people cannot apply 485 on time. As we know that English is valid for 1 year for 485 now, you can appear in English whenever you get time. So then you have to worry about one less thing when you finish your study. But if the way you are planning is also fine, but I am more of person who like to do things first or earlier before time. So I will recommend you to follow that path. Jitinder, what are the chances of extending 485 visa? Jitinder, we need to know eligibility and everything. Which extension are you talking about? 485 extensions are available for certain courses right now. There is a replacement stream which is still open. And there is a regional extension available. If you mean that you want to apply for a different visa subclass, can you apply for that? Well, that's subject to that depends on many factors basically. Okay, so going ahead, 1 minute, I lost my track. I'm just going back to my questions. For some reason, I scrolled it all the way down and I lost that. Okay, sorry, I have to start from the middle. Let's see. Okay, now let's go to Kaplan, Abby. Sorry, I missed one question there. So Janvi, Janvi has asked that, can I directly get PR after 485 visa after completing Bachelor's of Nursing? Also, if my subclass 500 expires in a month, after my graduation from Bachelor's of Nursing, am I still eligible to apply for 485 visa? So for 485 visa, generally the main thing is that yes, if you are finishing Bachelor of Nursing, you get registration, get your skills assessment, lodge expression of interest. If you get invitation before your student visa expires, you can definitely lodge PR directly. But if your visa is expiring and you have not received invite yet, then you'll have to go for a 482 visa, and that will buy you time and while you wait for invitation. Captain Nabi has asked that I will be completing my master's in September, got a job offer as a restaurant manager, and they are willing to sponsor. Okay, that's good. Should I take the 482 leading to 186 pathway? Should I follow grad dip in childcare and apply for 189 or 190? Which option is best? Kaplan, if in your case, if you are excited, you can work as restaurant manager and you have that option, I would say going for that pathway is more secure. But as a backup, you can also do graduate diploma of childcare. Because with graduate diploma of childcare, I'm not sure if that's your field or not. With restaurant manager, if you have got job offer as restaurant manager, it means that you are selected to work in that field, and that might be your passion. Okay, and it gives you PR pathway as well. So that's where you can have both things. Now, if you do graduate diploma of teaching and you are not getting job, future is for applicants who will work in their fields. This is at least what we are expecting. So my advice is to prefer employer-sponsored pathway. And as a backup, you can keep graduate diploma option, but your preferred pathway should be 482 leading to 186 path. Pulkit has asked that also lodged the visa application as single, but later married 8 months. Then notified Home Affairs by 𝐦𝐸𝐿, no merit chance of visa approval, spouse is skilled. Pulkit, you are in bit trouble because if you claim points as single applicant and you lodged any skilled visa, then department, your visa may be refused. We have already seen many cases where applications were refused in such cases. If your partner was skilled, then it's more of case officer's decision. But if he was skilled at the time of invitation, then you are safe. But if he got skills later on, you are on mercy of case officer basically, because by law, he has, and by the way legislation or policy is designed, he or she may refuse your visa based on this. Isha has asked that my brother applied for 491. He got an SW invitation, but he could not meet the health requirements. He received natural justice letter. He's offshore applicant and he's electrical engineer. What other options are for him? Kisha, unfortunately, most of the visas in Australia do require passing health exam, and especially for permanent visas. So if he's not meeting health requirement, better to try to get waiver or apply to the natural justice letter. You can take service from one of our experienced migration agents who may be able to help you with this scenario, because if he cannot pass health, then he will be stuck. This has been answered. Sandra, what is the future for medical laboratory scientist? I'm looking to join this July intake in CQU. So Sandra, with the years of experience that I've seen and in the past, this occupation has always been in demand. So if the course that you are doing is accredited, then go ahead with it. It's a good course. And, I have got clients who received invitation in these one, and usually I've seen very few or no people waiting for this invite for this occupation for too long. So yeah, it's a good option. Best of luck. Okay, so someone has asked, the name is A. So they have applied, they have completed diploma from South Australia, have applied for Bachelor of Nursing September intake, still waiting for the COE. And in case I cannot secure a spot for this year and apply for PEP 2025 RN, can I stay overseas until then due to family emergency? Or if I plan to go next year intake, will Australia consider the past 4 years or not? Or what other options I can go for? Really need help, please. What I understand, of course, you have 3-4 things to be considered here. I cannot address all of them, but if you have already studied and stayed in South Australia, that period has been counted towards regional residence. However, depends on what you are going to apply for. So, generally states require you to be living there during. So if you are applying as resident, you must be continuously living there for quite some time. South Australia do offer some options for people who are not even living there. So you may qualify under those. And then as far as your bachelor's is concerned, if you have already, your visa has expired and you are overseas, then, whichever intake you get first, get into that, come to Australia, do RN and, get your PR through that option. Kesha, I've answered your question. Thank you. Sandra has asked, is it worth? Okay, Sandra, I've answered your question. Thank you. Pablo has asked that I applied for a student visa at the beginning of March. I just upload the completion of my past English score. Do I have to take PT and upload the result? Additional documents, is there any risk? Pablo, if I understand it correctly, so you were on you lost student visa and your English was not valid at that time and you provided English later. So English is at the time of decision criteria when it comes to student visa. So if you have uploaded it later, it should be fine. Juhi, what are the chances of getting 190 visa from for Victoria or NSW as copywriter? I have positive skills assessment, 85 points, and I am offshore. Juhi, both of these states are, they look into your years of experience as well as your points. So your points are good, but with this occupation, I believe it will be competitive. There are not many applicants and we have not really seen many invites in this occupation. So my advice to you will be that consider other states as well and do consider 491 visa as a backup, because that's where you might have more chances. Aniza has asked that I'm currently working as early years teacher in Pakistan and my husband is in Australia on 485 visa. What option I have to come to partner and start this course? Okay. So if your husband is on 485 visa, you can apply for subsequent entrant 485, which will allow you to come to Australia. And once you are in Australia, you can study on 485 visa. Okay, so that's the best way, because going for a student visa will be pretty tough from Pakistan these days. So better that apply for 485 subsequent, come to Australia, finish your course and apply for PR. Daniel has asked that holding student visa in WA, working in civil engineering field, part-time, you have 70 plus state points. What are the chances in WA for civil engineer? Daniel, WA has been really good for construction occupations such as civil engineer. 70 points were good last year when they opened up for this occupation, but this year it might get competitive because a lot of people have moved there. If you can try to increase 10 points, maybe your chances for 190 will be very good because you are already working as well. Okay, so it's good that you have a job that will definitely give you an advantage. Try to increase your points 5 to 10 at least to become competitive. Datta, I think you asked, okay, so she has mentioned that received 190 visa invitation in April, applied in May in mechanical engineer, no progress so far. Why is this and when can I? So that's very common basically, because a lot of applicants who lodged their applications in March, April, May, June of last year, they're still waiting for the grants. My, experience or my interpretation of this is because department has less or no seats left for this financial year. That's why they are not granting visa. You can expect getting grants from July onwards, hopefully. Jitinder, welcome again. So he has asked that what are the chances for 186DE employer sponsor for computer network and system engineer? How many years we can extend 485 if it is about it? Within that 485 extension, I've already answered that part. 186 direct entry, yes, it's a good path. If you have 3 years full-time experience, competent English, relevant qualification, and a positive skills assessment, and an employer who can sponsor you, go ahead with 186 direct entry. Piyush has asked that I've a master's in robotics from the US. I am planning to pursue an MBA from Australia. Will it be easy to secure a PR if I complete MBA, or is it advisable for master's in management degree? Piyush, really for PR, MBA or management does not make much difference. They both are competitive fields. So you'll have to get skills assessment in one of the skilled occupation, which is possible with employment. So in these fields, if you're not working, you will not get skills assessment. And if you do not get skills assessment, it will become really hard for you to get PR. But it is competitive area. So if you are coming for this, you'll have to really keep on top of everything.
Hi, Ali. Sorry to interrupt you. I guess we have missed out a question from Kesha Patel. Should I read it out to you?
Yeah.
She has been trying to contact us. We missed out a question from her. I'll just read it out to you.
I've already,
My brother
Kesha Patel,
applied.
I've already answered, I think, yeah.
Okay, okay.
I've answered her. So regarding her brother health, so I've
Yeah.
answered it.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Okay, Kesha, I've already answered your question. It's basically he did not meet health requirements. If he did not meet health requirement, it's required for most of the visas, as I said. If he's not meeting health requirements, he will not be eligible, to get many visas. So it's better that because his case is, if he has received natural justice, you'll have to prepare a response. You may request for waiver of health condition, but you'll need customized advice for this part. Okay, so coming back where we left, so Miss Johanna has asked that is ABN valid to demonstrate work experience? Yes, absolutely. See, on ABN, you are also employed. It's just that the documents that are required to prove employment are different than employment, but absolutely you can, that's a valid employment. It's just that, proving it can be sometimes a bit tricky and harder, but yes, it's possible. Akhil Kumar has asked that now I am study in Masters of Health Service Management, MBA. Okay, I have more than 3 years experience in pharma industry in India, quality control executive. Now I'm in Sydney. Please suggest what steps I do for PR. Akhil, I believe you will, if you are doing this, you might have done pharmacy degree in the past. If that's the answer, then we can look for a few occupations for skills assessment. Can be, such as industrial pharmacist, depending on the duties that you perform. So, and based on that, you can apply for 190 or 491 visa. Annalyn has asked that I'm doing MBA specializing in project management in WA. I have 10 years of experience overseas as an HR and admin officer. What are the possible visa options? I need to get a permanent residency in Australia after completion of my course. So, Annalyn, first thing will be to have your skills assessment done based on your previous experience, such as the experience that you have done in HR, and maybe admin experience can also count in many cases. Now, after having skills assessment, once you finish your MBA, you can look for 190 or 491, depending on which occupation you get your skills assessed in. Few of the occupations related to HR are HR advisor, HR manager, recruitment specialist, recruitment consultant can be there. And related to admin, there are a couple of occupations such as project admin, program admin. Now, if you have work experience relevant to these and you have a prior qualification, get assessment, lodge your EOI for 190, 491 in WA. And once you become a graduate of WA, you'll further get advantage over other applicants because your profile, you'll get preference due to being a graduate of WA. Ravi has asked that what is the chance of getting invitation as a chef in Victoria? 85 points for 491. I'm living and working in regional as chef. Ravi, chef, Victoria did invite hospitality applicants in last financial year. If your salary is good, you have decent chances of getting invitation, but we'll have to wait for New Year's requirements and rules, and you should make decision based on those. So Bemina has asked that, is it possible to get a company to sponsor me in Victoria for PR with a recruitment consultant occupation, not manager level? Yes, of course, because recruitment consultant is in the short-term list. So your employer can sponsor you for a 482 visa if you're a recruitment consultant, and it can later on lead you to PR as well. So best of luck. What occupations fall under laboratory medicine course, and is it good for the PR aspect? Okay. And can I change masters in food science and technology to laboratory medicine, as I have background in biotechnology and I came to Australia in Feb. In RMIT University pursuing masters in food science and technology. See, with Karthik, with masters of food science and technology, it's a good occupation. It's in the list. It's just that you'll have to get work 1 year in nominated occupation if you want to get assessment as food technologist. And since you have a biotechnology degree in the past, if you have any experience as biotechnologist 1 year in last 5 years, you may also get skills assessment as biotechnologist from BetterSys. So as far as comparison is concerned, I will prefer laboratory, medical laboratory science qualification over this one, because if it is accredited qualification, you will not need you will not need work experience to get skills assessment. And for the intake, I'm not admissions counselor for this part. Our team can get back to you if Advait you can note their name. So we can, I will ask one of education team to get back. Bhumika, what should be addressed specifically in GST statement, any documents? So Bhumika, it's you have to address your previous study history, previous visa history. You have to address why you are doing that course, what value it will add to for your future, any previous non-compliance, etc. Now, any documents which prove these things should be attached, such as if you're saying that you did bachelor's and then you had 3 years of experience and now you want to do master's. So providing evidence of bachelor's along with 3 years of work experience evidence is relevant document in this case, and so on. Chakshu, my master is about to complete end of this month. When is the earliest I can apply for TR? And can I include my husband in application who is offshore? So Chakshu, the answer is no, because if your partner is offshore, you cannot include them in your 485 visa. You'll have to be granted your visa first and then apply for subsequent entrant visa. Now, if you get completion letter after having completion or your results are announced, you can apply for this visa. Ravinder, so Ravi said that he has done MBA marketing HR from India, but have no experience. Unfortunately, this case, you cannot qualify for skilled migration. The reason is because you do not have any experience, you will not get skills assessment. You might consider coming for a student visa, which might also be tough because of because of your profile. A has asked this question. So A, I've already answered your question. Kesha, I've answered your question. Thank you. Sujitha, apart from doing a course, what would be other options for PR pathway? I come with an extensive background in HR and I am above 45 years old. I'm looking to join my family here. Okay. So if you are above 45 years old, Sujitha, you have, first of all, you have very limited options left. So skilled migration is out of the picture. Employer sponsorship, most of the visas are out of the picture for PR. Option you have, practical option you have is through DAMA program, where, even if you're above 45 and you get a job in one of the designated DAMA regions where there is age exemption available and your employer is willing to sponsor you, in that case, you can go ahead. Otherwise, you will not qualify for PR. So Shabi has asked 485 extension, already on replacement 485, valid until next year. My uni is eligible for 485 extension, but there are no direct details for replacement 485 extension. Shabi, I think so. If you are on 485 replacement and you want to go ahead with 485 extension because your university is there, as per the law, there is nothing that stops you. Yes, in few cases, there can be some issues. You can reach out to one of our team members and we can definitely help you with this case, as we have helped many others. Sandra, what is the process for medical laboratory scientists? So to go for medical laboratory scientists, you have to, if you want to go through study pathway, you can do one of the master's or bachelor's courses in Australia, which are accredited by 𝐴IMS, that is the assessing authority. And then you can get your skills assessment and apply as medical laboratory scientist. Karthik, your question I've answered. Thank you. Umesha has asked that I'm currently doing a master's degree at RMIT. In my first semester, I got credit for one subject, which had 4 credit points. Firmly can complete 36 credit points in my last semester. Will there be an issue when I apply for 485 visa and PR? So Umesha, just to make it clear, if you have taken credit transfer based on study that you took overseas, there is no problem. If you taken credit on the basis of study in Australia, in this case, there is no problem either. It's just that the course that you are completing must be registered for 92 weeks and it should take 16 months duration to complete. Again, we have done several cases like these and we will be happy to assist you should you need our assistance. Sandra, confident off list or those things, I understand that, but that's draft skilled occupation, that is just a draft. Now it is there for consideration. There is no update whether it will be off or on. So it's hard to say anything about it. But based on our previous experience, invitation rounds, this occupation has always received invitation. Malak Kumar has mentioned that I am currently in student visa and soon I am graduating by end of 2024 in Bachelor of Food Technology and Nutrition. What are my chances for future in PR? How can I get that easily? Which state is better? Okay, so Malak, if you are doing Bachelors of Food Technology and Nutrition, you have to look for a job because in order to get skills assessment either as a nutritionist or food technologist, you will need 1 year of post-qualification experience, minimum 20 hours per week paid. If you have that, then it will be easy for you to get skills assessment. Now, depends on where you are studying. So if you're studying in a state or regional, then I would recommend you to be staying there. And if once you finish your study, my recommendation to you will be to move to a state where you get job. So job should be your priority in this case. For 482 sponsor visas, you guys have any tie-up with aged care or disability centers? Jaypreet has asked. We can find an employer or you have recommendation. So Jaypreet, no, generally we don't help with recruitment services. From time to time, if there is an employer who genuinely is looking for someone and they come to us, we do have some options in those cases. Now, and generally, if someone is our client, we do let them know, but generally, the answer is no. Varun, how much time is suitable for a student to go back to home in holidays, home country, while full-time bachelor study in Australia, like any period, not more than 2 months or something? Varun, no, there is no limit for how long you can go to your home country. But it's just that you should not travel while your course is in session because technically you have been granted a student visa to study. So if your course is in session and you are studying and you are traveling, department can raise an issue in this case. So better that if you are, for example, if you have summer break, which is 3 months and you travel for 3 months, no problem. So there is no such limit. Fenel, I've answered your question. Sandra, again, that's, there can be difference of opinion unless and until as of today, it's in the long-term list, as I've said. So, we go with list which is official, which is there on Department of Home Affairs website. We have been seeing many occupations which were previously told to be removed in last 9 years. They have, they have not been removed. So just based on draft, I cannot give you an advice, but something which is in front of us, we can definitely advise you on that. But yes, there can be difference of opinion in such things. Okay, so Kaplan has asked that what are the primary requirements from applicant and business to apply for the 482 after getting the 1 year experience? So one of the most important requirements is that business must be legally operating in Australia. They must have genuine need of that position. They have to do labor market testing. They have to prove that salary that they will be paying you will be equivalent to that of an Australian worker. And they should have, their financials should be decent. If they are in loss, then, generally it becomes hard, but depending on type of employer, so they'll have to provide their financial statements and other documents proving the same. KD has asked that any chance for invite civil engineer draft person for 189 for 85 points. See, 189, there was around very few invites for this occupation. And 85 points seems a bit low right now for 189 subclass. I advise you to either consider different states such as WA, which has preferred building construction occupation, or NSW did prefer this occupation recently as well, or look for a job because job is going to play an important role in future. Ravi has asked what are the chances. Okay, Ravi, have answered this question. Mansi, nowadays microbiologist is priority list or not for PR? See, there is no such priority list for PR like 189, 194, 91 right now. There are occupation lists. Every state is given priority based on their demand and their requirements. So, Mansi, it's in the demand list for sure. But how that occupation will be treated in states or regions depends on state to state and region to region. As far as 189 is concerned, point requirement is considerably high. Navdeep Kaur has asked that do I need to extend my health insurance as well to extend my visa? Do I need to go? Okay, so I answered your question earlier. Yes, you will need health insurance for extended time for the duration of the visa that you are applying for. Sujita, I've answered your question related to age. Thank you. Navdeep has asked that I'm on 485 visa expiring in Feb 2025. Okay. Living in regional Queensland and running business last 2 months. Have positive skills assessment, 50 points, more than 125,000 investment. How much hope you can do for SBO? What are the other requirements? Is there any changes in July? Navdeep, these are a lot of questions to be answered. But in simple words, since you have purchased the business, point-wise, it's not an issue with generally with SBO. If you are running a business, yes, changes can happen in every July. So we cannot say for sure as of now, but based on the history, I believe your chances will be good. But we'll have to wait for next year's requirements once they're released, maybe in next couple of months. Anil, I've answered your question. Sujita, again, if your question was answered in this meeting. So if you are above 45, you have very limited options such as DAMA, etc. Other options like 189, 190, 491 will not be available to you because you are above 45. Okay, so Richa has asked that I am a HR student graduating this November. I have positive skills assessment for HR advisor. I'm onshore working in HR for around 5 years. Now I am over 35. What are my chances for 491? So Richa, it depends where you are living and how many points you have and where you have studied. Because this occupation, HR advisor, is open for 491 visa, which means, you have limited options of getting sponsorship. Okay, so you have answered below, you are in WA. So see, with WA, we'll have to wait for the new occupation list. If your occupation is on the list and you are considered graduate and they get decent number of seats, then chances can be good because that is one of the best state if you are, if you are studying and you are working there. Malik, I have answered your question. See, Sandra, if you are comparing it with Masters of Nursing and Master of Laboratory Science, again, so you've asked that question. Of course, nursing is preferred option. Okay. The reason is because there has been strong demand, there has been more invites, and there are more jobs as per what we have seen. So if you are comparing these two fields, I will prefer nursing, of course. For microbiology, you can get your skills assessment as a microbiologist if you have 1 year of work experience and a qualification, and you can lodge EOI in that field while you are waiting for this. Now, again, we can have difference of opinion, so I hope you understand that. Ria, are there any engineers designing PR in Victoria? Ria, I have, I've personally not seen much invites for this occupation in most of the Australian states. So, but yes, 1 year can be different to next year. I will advise you to have higher points. Victoria generally looks for applicants with higher experience, with more points. If you have both, then you can expect an invite. And at the same time, if you are already in Australia, do consider relocating to other states once requirements are announced for next financial year. Kamal has asked that I'm living offshore. I have 4 years of experience as a software engineer, application developer in Big Four firm. I want to move to Australia. Any pointers, starting approach? So Kamal, if you have 4 years experience and you have a highly relevant qualification such as Bachelor's of IT, you can get your skills assessment as a software engineer or developer programmer, and you can start considering 189, 190, 491. Or because since you are working in Big Four, you can maybe get a transfer on 482 visa here, employer sponsored, and you can consider 186 visa because Big Fours, as per my knowledge, do sponsor a lot of applicants from offshore. Ravinder has asked that I've done masters in IT. What are the chances I've finished PY as well? Get my skills assessment in business analyst, software engineer. I'm not working in the field at the moment. My husband is also here. He worked as bricklayer, but he has not studied anything in Australia. Please suggest FTR till September 2027. So, Harvinder, if you are not working, then chances will be less in future based on what we have been hearing for future updates. Now, if your husband is working currently as bricklayer as well, and he has more than 3 years of experience, you may consider getting RPL and getting assessment through TRA based on qualification and 3 years experience. We have already had applicants in the past similar. Kamal has asked IELTS or PT. I will go for PT if I am targeting superior English, and most of aspirants here will agree with me. But then it depends on person to person. So I would personally choose PTE if I want to get higher score. The chances of PR in agriculture field, unless you are in critical fields such as social worker, teachers, nursing, or medical fields such as doctors, etc., chances of you getting invite this year, there were very few invites. But people who were going ahead with the right approach, such as they are agriculture consultant and they are working, for example, I have one of the clients who is working as agriculture technician in regional of NSW. He had 3 months of work experience in regional NSW. I believe he had 75 to 80 points, and we got his invitation in pathway 1 from NSW. So same way, having a right approach is most important, not an occupation these days. So if you are even an accountant and you are working in a regional area of NSW or Victoria, you're targeting right state, you can still get an invite. But if you are a nurse or teacher and you do not act, you do not change your approach with time, you will even miss it wherever you are. Okay, so even with best occupation. So my advice is in general to all of you who are listening, occupation is important, yes, but the most important is the approach that you take to target that occupation. So always go for right state, right option. If you are keen on in one field and that is in the skill list, doesn't matter even if it is in the short-term list or regional list, but you believe you can get job in that field, follow that. As a backup, if you have to do something extra, do it, but your main pathway should always be where you can find job, and that's where we can see that's where the future will be. Jaypreet, no, I answered this question about tie-ups. So we don't generally, and I've answered in detail. I'm taking my MBA here in Perth and just starting with my skills assessment with VETSs. Okay. What do you think the best timeline in terms of lodging my EOI and getting an invite? I may be able to claim 90 points. So if you are doing MBA there, assessment, go ahead, do the assessment because it's valid for 3 years. As soon as you have skills assessment, lodge EOI, because there is no right time or wrong time for lodging expression of interest. And especially in WA, the earlier you lodge EOI, the earlier you get into the queue, and they do invite applicants on the basis of their date of effect of their EOI as well. That is one of the factors on the when they invite someone. Okay, so everyone, I have Navdeep has said that I've missed your question too. Navdeep, I've answered it. I'm not sure I've discussed it. You can go back and listen to it. It's just that I want to give opportunity to as many people. I don't mind answering again, but I want to give opportunity to most of the people here. So that this is why I'm not going through questions multiple times. So I hope you understand, because we have got a lot of questions and we need to address as many as possible. We are above our time already. Good afternoon. My spouse has completed BE electrical after getting 6 months work experience. He has changed her stream. Okay, so again, that's, I think your question is not clear, Karen. If you can write it, I'll try to address it. What is the best strategy to get an employer who is willing to sponsor for a 482 visa? Now, the best strategy is work with them, of course. Number 2, do you give your best and see what employer needs. If you match their needs and you are beneficial for their business, and of course they have to invest money. They have a lot of uncertainties that you might leave. So give them that assurity, and your work ethics, all these things matter. Okay, so I'll combine this question. My spouse has completed, Karen has almost BE electrical engineering, but after 6 months experience, she has changed her stream and now she has gained experience in hairdressing. So for hairdressing, you need to have certificate 3 years experience to get skills assessment. If you do not have 3 years of full-time experience, and you can also do job ready program in Australia if you're on a valid visa to complete that job ready program. So I hope that helps. Shivangi, I've answered your question earlier. Thank you. Karthik, food technologist question I've discussed as well. Okay, Pablo has asked that I'm hairdresser without skills assessment. I have 2 years experience back in my country. Okay, my employer is offering me a sponsor. What can I do? So if you are a hairdresser, without an assessment. Pablo, you might still be able to apply for a 482 because you have 2 years experience. It's just that we have to check if it falls in last 5 years. And then we have to see if you have relevant qualification, but you may qualify for this. Karen, yes, we do help in admissions, Dave, for most of the institutes in Australia. Pradeep, you have asked this question again. So just to let you know that SBO, yes, you will have good chances based on past trends, but we have to wait for next financial year invitation rounds or next financial year rules. Generally, points are not an issue when we are talking about SBO. The most important part is if you are in regional, you are running a business, and you are meeting all of the requirements such as of having an Australian worker, etc. It feels from my side, yes, it's a safe track, but you have to look for the requirements. Requirements are enough. Karthik, MBA is general, depending on which occupation you want to go with. So you can choose any MBA such as marketing management, but that is not relevant to the biotechnology degree that you have done overseas. He has said that I'm overseas, can apply for working holiday visa 407 after completing my diploma of nursing in May 2024 from SA. Any other option to go for bachelor? Basically, if you are overseas, you can apply for 407 visa, but working holiday visa is subjective to which country passport are you holding. And generally, if you are holding eligible passport, you are under current age, yes, you can go for working holiday visa as well. Okay, so Samin has asked that I'm enrolled nurse, just got job offer from NSW regional, pay rate is 34.20, and can I work for 24 hours per week as I have recently lodged student visa on Bachelor of Nursing and I am in second year, semester 2. Now, your concern is, do I have to study from regional only, or I can continue my studies from Sydney? And what options can I opt, like 491? What else? So, Samin, there are two streams of 491. One is where you are living and working in regional NSW, for which pay rate is less. So, you will not qualify in that. However, you can lodge expression of interest under pathway 2, irrespective of where you are living, whether you are living in regional or Sydney. Okay, so Ali has asked that, can we apply 485 visa if we finish the diploma of hospitality in commercial cookery? Is it eligible for TR if we finish advanced diploma? Please give me an opinion. One, I need to go to TR or complete the advanced diploma and apply TR. My student visa expires in last 2025. So, Ali, if you have completed certificate 4 in commercial cookery and a diploma, you can apply for TR. But if you've just done a diploma of commercial cookery and you are doing advanced diploma, you are not eligible for TR because hotel manager, restaurant manager, cafe manager are not in the long-term list, and you will be qualifying in the graduate work stream. So if you have completed Cert 4 and diploma, then and you have visa to study advanced diploma, then maybe finish advanced diploma, start your job ready program, finish your job, start, so at least you buy more time because your TR will be limited. You can reach out to us, we will plan it out accordingly. So I believe still we have a lot of questions, but we are running out of time. Let me ask my team. Someone has said AO, I have answered many of your questions actually. I'm not sure which question are you referring to. I've answered 5-6 of your questions. So I'm just trying to give opportunity to everyone because just so that everyone gets equal chance for their questions to be answered. So for people who are asking repeat questions, do go back to the answers that I've sent. Yes, if someone has asked multiple questions, I've tried to answer those, but I've addressed questions as they came, and you will find your answers in this session. I'm just trying to take few more questions, which I believe I have not been addressed before, and then we might have to end your session because we are going above our time. Okay, so Preeti, since you have asked this question a couple of times, so I have applied. So she has asked if I applied for my TR 2 months ago, and as everyone knows, immigration is being so strict. Can my TR get refused? If yes, what will I do next? Preeti, I don't see any reason why your TR will be refused if you were eligible. So I think if you have made sure that all the requirements were met before lodgement, then there is no point of refusal because genuine student test does not apply to TR, and then generally TR is only refused in cases where you are not meeting clear requirements such as English, your qualification requirements, police check, health insurance, etc. So generally, if you do it properly, we have rarely seen refusal, and generally the refusals are where people make mistakes. So no need to worry if everything was done, properly. So Kinza has asked that she has bachelor degree in electrical engineering, no experience, 4 years of education gap. Is there any way you can get a student visa for further study? Kinza, with this much gap in Australia, it's really hard to get a visa, especially if you are overseas. If you are in Australia, then still we have seen many cases who got visas, but as an offshore, your chances of getting invitation will be less. Sorry, your chances of getting student visa will be less. My bad. Okay. So I'm just picking up questions randomly. Sorry, because I've got limited time. I just want to address issues which have not been addressed before. Himali Patel, she has asked that she has MP and MBA. Can I access my account receivable officer with 1 year experience? Himali, generally account receivable or account payable or bookkeeping is not considered as a relevant qualification, relevant work experience because they are clerical level jobs. So you should be working at higher level, such as an accountant where you are preparing financial reports. And these kind of duties needs to be there to be considered. Kinza, she has just asked in addition to that, so my team is here, I think, to end the session. So just one more question. She has added that my husband is already studying in Latro. Can he sponsor me? What are the options for electrical engineers in Australia? See, Kinza, in this case, he can apply for your student subsequent visa. Because if you're applying student visa on your own, the chances are very less. Student subsequent is where you can expect a grant. Yes, it's also very challenging these days, but that's the option you have. Electrical engineers have good scope. It's just that points have been high for all occupations this year. And that's why very few, we saw few invites for electrical engineers. Few states such as Victoria, South Australia, Western Australia did invite these fields. Now, before I end, my final piece of advice to all of you who are targeting PR for next 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years is to study in a field where you can get skilled job. That is going to be the most important factor in future. So if you are already studying something, try to get into that field. Start from anywhere. If you're a chef, start from kitchen hand. If you are working as a nurse, start from as a care worker. If you are teaching, start as an educator or just a child care worker. So you have to start working in your relevant field. So by the time you finish your study, you can land a job in your skill field. So thank you everyone for joining, and my apologies for if because I might have missed some questions.
Ali,
Yes.
can we please take Mr. Raman Brad's question because he has asked it multiple times.
Can you post it below? Because
yes. I am on a 485 visa and it is expiring in August 2016. I have submitted my EOI in NSW and I have 2 years of experience as qualified baker and living in regional NSW for the past 3 years. I have got 85 points. Should I wait for nomination by state or should I get sponsorship? Please guide me.
Okay, so I'm just reading it from here as well. Give me one moment. 485 visa is expiring in August. So, Raman, which you have skills assessment, not sure which occupation you have submitted your assessment in because you have 2 years experience as a baker. So I believe you are a baker. So if you are a baker and you have skills assessment as a baker, yeah, and 2 years experience, you are living in regional NSW from 3 years, then I'm not sure why you have not been invited because NSW pathway 1, pathway 2, you could have applied under pathway 1 if you are meeting the requirements of work experience. Now, if you are not currently working in regional and you're just living in regional, NSW is inviting less applicants just based on your points. So you might either get a job as a baker in regional NSW with $70,000 salary, work for 6 months, apply for 491 through direct pathway, or look for a different state where you can get job in your nominated occupation. Because if you are not working in regional NSW and you're just living in regional NSW, generally it does not do you any good. So that will be my advice to you. Advait, anything else?
I guess we have one last question if we can. From Rizwan.
Yeah. So my brother is coming in later of this one, I think. Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yes. So Rizwan has asked that my brother is coming in later of university in diploma leading to bachelor's in health science course. And after first semester, I applied for release, but they didn't give us release. Okay. So it means he's already here. So, okay, that's fine. After that, I applied for withdrawal and got withdrawal from them. And now he's studying Cert 3 in carpentry plus future COE. Can he travel overseas in November? Please guide me. Is it safe to go? So Rizwan, if he is studying a course which is at required level, which so generally graduate diploma is at a higher level than bachelor degree, so he is not in direct breach of his visa condition. So which means he can travel, but yes, if department asks him a question or which department may ask, he should know what he is doing and he should have all the relevant documents with him.
We also have a question from Ria. I guess she has asked this before as well. We will take up this last question from Ria and then we'll conclude the session.
Sorry?
We'll take this last question from Ria and then we'll conclude the session.
So I've done BSc with microbiology and medical lab technician. Okay, I have experience of 3 years as a medical lab technician from India. So can I apply for PR in Victoria? And what I have to do with skill assessment and what is the process I have to follow? And how much points I need for PR based on medical laboratory technician in Victoria. So Ria, first thing, when you're applying from overseas, it's not recommended to apply just in one state. You have to apply in multiple states to increase your chances, number one. Number two, to get, to start with, you have to get your skill assessment through AIMS. The requirement is generally having a qualification, which is equal to a diploma, plus 2 years work experience, if I'm not wrong. If you have that, you can get your skills assessment. Of course, your qualification should match to what, to the requirements of AIMS. That's the body. You can go and look for their requirements, but briefly, these are the requirements. Now, point requirements change every year. Now, the more experience you have, the better chances you have, and the more years of experience and more points combined makes you eligible. Now, in these cases, I do not recommend my clients to target one state only. I do highly recommend that you lodge EOIs, ROI, or metrics, whatever is applicable to you in multiple states, so you can be considered. Then Barar has just, Raman, I'll just answer this question once. So he has mentioned that he submitted 2 years ago, 2 days ago, he has submitted his EOI. So Raman, basically, if you are working in regional NSW, see how much is your salary. If it is equivalent to $70,000 as of now, and you've completed 3 months, 6 months of employment and living, you can apply through Pathway One directly now. It might close very soon, so or in future you can apply for that.
I would like to conclude this session. I would like to thank all the audience who have been here. I hope so we have answered majority of your questions. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much.